And what is going on, my Houston Texans family? Hope you're all are having a blessed Thursday. What is going on, Harley? Can you hear me? Can you hear me good?
What's up?
I
Sorry,
sound good to
good.
you?
There we go. All right. What's up? What's good, man? I could barely hear you. I had to raise my volume. What's
How
up,
do I
my
sound?
guy?
How do I sound? How do I sound?
Oh, you sound good, man. You're great. You're great.
Hell yeah, no, you're great. You're great.
Appreciate you.
And I definitely miss you. Shout out to Will House Media. Shout out to Bleach Report allowing us to come on here, talk Houston Texans football. Always a big shout out to my Lord and Savior, the man upstairs. Harley, the Houston Texans today, they put BTA belt
Mm.
to ass against the Arizona Cardinals. 40-20 is the final score. Let's first talk about the mindset of this game because a lot of fans were calling this a quote unquote trap game for this Houston Texans team. I myself said that I think this D'Amico Ryans led team has been playing so good since week 4. They've been fighting for their lives. They're not going to fall into a trap game scenario. And when you look at the final score of 40-12, maybe at some times it felt a little bit iffy, but in the end, the Houston Texans, they take care of home. They handle the Arizona Cardinals. 40-20 is the final score. 17 points in the first quarter, 6 points in the second, 7 in the third, and 10 in the fourth. Harley, talk to me about these Houston Texans who are now 9-5 and on a 6-game winning streak.
Yeah, man. The hottest team in football. The
Oh,
hottest team in football, the
talk
Houston
to me.
Texans. I mean, come on now. There's nobody else. This is the hottest team in football. I don't care what the Denver Broncos are doing. They're barely scraping by and winning games. The Houston Texans, the way they won today. Look, I thought the defense not the best. Mm.
Performance. Yeah, that's fair. Talk to me.
Chargers
What
just
happened?
got themselves a turnover, and that will end the game for the Chargers and Chiefs as Chargers go up 16-13.
Uh,
That's
well,
what I made the face there.
so, in terms of hate watching, the Jaguars won their game. You wanted them to lose.
Yes.
The Bills won their game. You wanted them to lose.
Yes.
The Chargers, they won their game. You wanted them to lose. What you wanted to make sure was, though, Harley, that you handled your own business
For sure.
and you did exactly that. So, as much as I want to, moan and complain about, and oh my guys, I see that I see the turnover here, right here in front of me.
Gardner
The
Minshew.
Houston Texans, they did their part.
Yeah, man, they did, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take care of business. This isn't a trap game unless you want to make it a trap game.
Uh,
You don't get this far to just get this far, as they say. And the Houston
yeah,
Texans
okay,
again,
okay, Kim Kardashian. I didn't come this
like
far just to come this far.
I'm just saying, like you start 0-3, you go 8-2, and you have this big win against the Chiefs and the big win against the Bills and that big comeback win with Davis Mills against the Jaguars. And, you went 3-0 with Mills. You don't
Mhm.
want to do all of that. And then you have a letdown game and lose to the Cardinals. That's not
Facts,
what you
facts,
want to
facts.
do. And so that's what I mean by you don't get this far just to get this far. Keep pushing. I thought the defense didn't play their best of games, and they still had a solid day today.
Mhm.
But I thought it could have been way better. I thought they were pretty just laid back in general. They did not get enough pressure on Jacoby Brissett as I thought they should have. The constant letting Trey McBride being guarded by a
Yeah.
linebacker. Why we got Damone Clark, number 31, guarding Trey McBride in the end zone? I have no clue. Henry To'oTo'o's not a good defensive, guy that's going to guard anybody. He can't guard nobody. That's just not his game. And you got him guarding Trey McBride. I would have liked to seen Petrie a little bit more used on Trey McBride. I wanted to see Miles Bryant, who I know he had a
Yeah.
route on Miles Bryant, but I know at least Miles Bryant has the capabilities of guarding Trey McBride better. That was the whole offense, though, for the Arizona Cardinals. I thought that was a hell of a play to Michael Wilson near the end zone for his touchdown. But he was pretty much,
Mhm.
blanketed all game as well, too. Look, this defense could have played better, but ultimately they got the win. They dropped 40 points, and this is where we are now. They dropped 40 points. The defense could have played better. The offense could have played better, but they still won 40-20. And you're 9-5 and winners of what your last 9 of the last 11 games.
And this was something that the chat brought up, Harley. And then I'll ask you this question because this was the main topic. It was, if I would have told you that the Houston Texans would have put up 30, because at that point it was 33 points against the Arizona Cardinals, would you have been mad if the score ended like that? And majority of the chat said no, but we know how we got these. There was a majority of Kaimi Fairbairn field goals, and we get to we'll get to the game in a second.
Yeah.
But I think this was a big win for the Houston Texans in terms of, when you hear about a trap game, it always comes off of an emotional high. And, an emotional high is what you got against the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
And I was one who wasn't taking Arizona lightly at all. I don't know about you, but I was saying, they've played 5 of, majority of these teams very close to the wire. And, you're going to have to play all 4 quarters to beat the Arizona Cardinals. Well, they did that today. So shout out to the Houston Texans and their sense of just handling business, man, and beating the team that they were supposed to beat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. Look, you have to beat the Arizona Cardinals. You have to beat the Las Vegas Raiders. These are teams that you're going to be favored in 2 back-to-back home games. And these were games that on paper you're going, okay, well, if the Texans win these 2 games, they could get to 10 wins right away, but you still have to do it. And so for the Texans, I think this is a big win in your case, that for them to ignore noise and just keep playing ball. Just keep playing ball, man. Y'all are playing good football right now. Again, some criticisms on the defense for sure, but the Texans are playing good football. They're the hottest team in football right now. And what I wanted to see was, how will this offense, can they gain some momentum? And could they use these next 2 games to gain some momentum, to gain some confidence, or to find an answer? And I think we found an answer today with this offense in one guy particular.
Okay. So you said answer, right? I was hesitant to go there. I was saying that in these next 4 weeks, you need to find a rhythm rather than a solution, because we've seen how inconsistent your offense has been all year. What answer are you talking about?
The theme of my chat, yes, the theme of my chat today, because I was live streaming, it's Jawar Jordan.
Oh, let's get to it.
Because to me,
Jawar
Jordan, who filled in for an injured Woody Marks, shout out Woody Marks, man. The guy's a dog. I mean, three times
he might have died every single game the last month, Harley.
Yeah. 3 times he went to the blue medical tent. 3 times he came back. And then they just went, hey, man, just take it easy, big dog. He's an animal. He's just a dog. DAWG dog. But we got to get
to Lerman Tunzel.
Yeah. We got to get some credit to Jawar Jordan, man. And
first 100-yard rush of the season.
15 carries, 101 yards. He had a 50-yarder that I thought he was housing it. I thought he housed it. I really did. And this Houston Texans team, to me, what my chat was talking about, because I started the game with, can the Texans need to find themselves another running back? Can they find it today with Jawar Jordan?
I mean, 15 attempts, 101 yards, 67 yards on the ground. His longest was 50. I mean, what he showed you today was there is potentially something there. Now, we know Arizona is one of the worst defenses right now in the league, but how we were coming into this game, Harley, talking about we need to rest Woody Marks, we need to rest Nick Chubb, to have someone come in like Jawar Jordan. And you know what? Even, shout out to Dare. As much crap as we like to give Dare, gave you some effective reps there at RB2. I know you're giving a little, like a little face right there, but
I hate Dare.
We all hate Dare, but to see what Jahar Jordan is, to see
Yeah.
what Dare gave you, you need that going forward the rest of the year as you continue to stack on these W's. And you know what? If Jahar Jordan can use these last 3 games, because after this one, I mean, he's your first 100-yard rusher of the year. If he does that next week against the Raiders, if he does that against the Chargers, if he does that against Indy, and you are able to rest guys like Woody Marks, guys like Nick Chubb, I think this is gonna bode well for you. And I'm not saying that Jahar Jordan can be your RB1 in the postseason,
No.
but his role right now is taking reps away from Woody Marks, Nick Chubb, making sure those two are healthy come playoff time. Jahar Jordan, I want to see more of you next week.
Yeah, I want to see more of George Jordan as well. This is a guy that was on your practice squad. You drafted him 2 years ago in the 6th round, was on your practice squad, got picked off your practice squad, and then came back to you. And let's be real, when we were at training camp, I'm not saying we called this, but we were definitely like, man, George Jordan looked pretty good.
A little something. Like
You
there were
know, and I'm
moments where
like,
he was
"Ooh,
getting to the second level, he was getting tackled by your safeties instead of your linebackers, where we're like, all right.
yeah, like that's what I was excited to see George Jordan. I just wanted to see what can he do for me. What's the difference between him and Dara and Gumbawale?
Mm,
And there's a big difference.
big
The
difference.
Texans continue to hammer it with the split zones for George Jordan. They continue to use him in the outside run over and over again. And the Cardinals defense isn't great, right? And sure, George Jordan had an easy defense to go up against. But what makes you proud and excited to see more is the vision.
Mm.
Because there were plenty of times where he put that foot in the ground, cut back inside, went the other way, and I went, oh. And then there's just a visible explosiveness with George Jordan running the football compared to Dare Ngumbawale, compared to J.J. Taylor. We've seen him
Mhm.
run the football sometimes here. Even British Brooks. There is a distinct explosiveness that I don't even think Woody Marks has when it comes to running the
Calm down
ball.
now.
I'm being honest here.
Calm down now.
Woody isn't as fast. I'm saying speed wise, quickness wise. Woody is a
That
great.
little burst, we do
There's
see
a
it in
there's
Jahar
a
Jordan.
slight difference there with Jawar. You see what I'm getting at? Not
Mhm.
saying he's better than Woody Marks. Not at all. I got to see more. That's a small sample
For
size.
sure.
But Woody has that great balance of he can be a tough runner and he can also hit you with some explosiveness. Jawar Jordan was just all straight speed. I'm
Mm.
faster than all of y'all. But him to shimmy within the confines of the offensive line, really good blocking from Arion to Ursary and Titus Howard on that one run he had outside, which it was just big hole to run through. Jawar Jordan had himself a game. In the chat, man, I was asking, can the Texans find themselves another running back that they could rely on? And Woody Marks, Nick Chubb comes back healthy, and you can add Jawar Jordan to the arsenal there. Now I'm getting happy about what we can do moving forward running the
Mm.
football, especially if the offensive line can continue the performance they've continued to have since this winning streak.
Yeah, I mean, I was just about to go into that, but first, Jahar Jordan, I think you've added another element to the offense where, we are intrigued by what you could bring. The offensive line, Harley, I think, had a fantastic job. Whenever you have a rusher over 100 yards, you did your job. When I see CJ Stroud only sacked one time,
Mm.
I get a little excited. I think this offensive line bounced back from their performance against the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. For CJ Stroud to be sacked only one time. And, we saw moments where, CJ Stroud had all the time in the world to throw the football. CJ Stroud was 22 of 29,
Yes.
260, 3 touchdowns,
Mm.
no interceptions, was only dropped one time. was given a damn near perfect quarterback rating of 137.1. Harley, talk to me about number 7.
He looked good, man.
He
and
looked good.
I can't cap. Finally, you had a game where CJ had plenty of time. He looked comfortable. He was when he needed to evade, he evaded
Mhm.
pressure.
He
He
stepped
was
up when he needed to.
exactly like he did his thing today. And I know it's a Cardinals defense that isn't great. I get it. But again, it's about building momentum. And we got to remember, this is just the first few games of CJ Stroud with this offensive line configuration. And that's the best one right there. He made it look effortlessly today. Yes, that touchdown pass, the first one to Nico, 57 yards,
Yep.
just looked like backyard football. Just looked like an easy little, oh, here you go. You're wide
Yeah. Just
open. And
break a tackle, take it to
yeah,
the
you're
crib.
just jogging like nothing. 57-yard touchdown to Nico Collins. And it was like, boom. And that's what I loved about the Texans today, to gear into that as well. They came in and punched you straight in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cardinals were weary. They were groggy. They were like, whoa, okay. Touchdown. The fumble on special teams, great play from Jamal Hill that caused the fumble. Dare recovers. I wanted another touchdown. You got you a field goal instead to
Mm-hmm.
make it 10-7, but you blinked and it was 17-0 right away for this Texans team. And it was like, oh, it's going to be this kind of game today. I need something similar again against the Raiders. Take care of business.
Yeah, I mean, and to the chat's point, he made it look effortlessly. Dalton Schultz was making plays. Yeah, Dalton Schultz, 8 receptions, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, I think he continues to be one of your most consistent pieces on offense all season. With CJ, this was the game that he needed to have. When you see 3 touchdowns, when you see 250 plus, there's no denying that he had a good day through the air. And
Mm-hmm.
that was, I kind of think, what he needed, because Indy, a bad first half, good quarters 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Kansas City, a good first half,
Mm-hmm.
bad 3, an okay 4.
Mm-hmm.
This game against Arizona, like I said, I gave you, the points: 17 in the first, 6 in the second, 7 in the third, 10 in the fourth. And when I look at 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to Nico Collins, 12's out there, the only 12 I respect. CJ Stroud did his thing.
Agreed. I mean, I'm right there with you. I thought this was one of his better games we've seen in quite some time, where not only he looked comfortable, but he didn't need no gimmick play to get him kick started. Like I think of the Chargers playoff game where he was magnificent that game, but it took him that gimmicky third and long pocket broken down and just hail up a Hail Mary basically and a prayer to Xavier Hutchinson for a first down, and all of a sudden your offense just found its way. There was no gimmicks. There was no crazy stuff that needed to happen. It was just CJ Stroud's and the gun, plenty of time, and I'm going to slice and dice your defense. And we saw the accuracy. We saw what CJ Stroud's known for doing best, and it's for beating teams with
Mhm.
accurate football and moving the ball down the field, pushing it vertically. He did it multiple times today. He had a great day. And I know someone mentioned Dalton Schultz. I should have started him in fantasy. Dalton Schultz had himself a damn good day today.
Mhm. Yeah, 8 receptions, 76 yards, 1 touchdown, 9.5 yards a catch. You can argue that Dalton Schultz has been your most consistent piece on offense all year. And I'm looking at Phillip Rivers deliver some of these throws, and man, he looks pretty good. He looks pretty
Can't cap.
good. The ball's getting there on time. We're
Oh
on hate
man.
watch. We're on hate watch, which is what I love as you're in this playoff race. But no, Dalton Schultz has been a blanket for CJ Stroud. Harley, you could go back to year 1 and see their connection. It kind of wasn't there in year 2, but I think it's back in year 3. And for Dalton Schultz, I think he deserves a lot of praise for what he has done this year, and the best is only going forward. Nico Collins, 3 catches, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns in this 6-game winning streak. Aside from today, Nico Collins has had 90 plus yards in these games. Today was just 5 yards short of 90 yards. Had a big 40-yard gain taken away from a offsides by Ariante Ursi. But talk to me about number 12.
As much as I enjoy Nico Collins and what he does, and shout out to him for having another 1,000 yards receiving this year, his third straight season with 1,000 yards, joining Andre Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins for the Houston Texans franchise.
Is that royalty?
Oh, big time. Big
Yeah.
time. That's the 2 best receivers ever put on the jersey. I mean, come on now. Nick Caley and his lack of involvement for Nico Collins has to be studied more, man. It has to be studied more, because there's no way he had 1 catch, 57 yards, touchdown, and then I didn't hear of him for quite some time. And then we got a few
you
plays.
needed him.
Yeah. And there's plenty of times I see him. I don't ever see him motioned. The only time I ever see him running is off the damn out of the huddle and onto the out of bounds to take a playoff. That's the only time I see Nico Collins ever running off the field. I don't ever see him running on the field like motioning. I'd love to see more motioning. I like to see him, I don't know, maybe using the slot a little bit. I just want some more creativity to use him more. That's my biggest deal with Nick Caley. Cool, you got Dalton Schultz involved, and you're a former tight end coach, and good job, buddy. You got Dalton Schultz doing your thing. But I'm sorry.
Kate Stover, too.
Dalton Schultz and Kate Stover's best day isn't Nico Collins' best day. And there's levels to it. And there's nothing wrong with saying it. But it's like trying to get Kevin Walter involved in the offense, and you got Andre Johnson over there with 4 catches. And you know that Kevin Walter's best day isn't the best day for
shout
Andre
out to Kevin Walter. Can we shout out Kevin Walter?
No disrespect to him, but you're trying to get Garrett Graham and Kevin Walter involved in the offense.
Garrett Graham. Shout out to Garrett.
Come on, dude.
Shout out to Garrett Graham.
Nico Collins involved more in the offense. It's bad enough we don't see Jalen Noel involved enough. Don't start going and hazing our wide receiver 1-2, okay?
Yeah, speaking of Jalen Noel, a great return on punt return in terms of receiving. He didn't even get a target. 8-9 other receivers caught a pass from CJ Stroud. Overall, Harley, I mean, I'm going to give the offense an A. You have a 100-yard rusher. You have 2 receivers over 70-plus yards, 1 receiver with 2+ touchdowns. Your quarterback had a damn near perfect passer rating, 137-point run. I think the offense had a day that, can kind of quiet the minds of a lot of fans. Like, yes, CJ Stroud can do this to any team that isn't capable of doing it. CJ Stroud has been a lot of scrutiny, this year of whether or not he is the guy. Now, this is all coming from, Houston fans, Harley. This isn't coming from the national media, but you know how Houston Texans fans are. And I think a game like today, you see 260 yards. You see 3 touchdowns. You can't really complain about number 7. He showed you today. This is a franchise performance, man.
I would say this is a B performance today from the offense.
Ooh, a B.
And it's more so my criticism towards Nick Caley.
Yep.
And I think that weighed down what the offense could have ultimately got you today. You had a play where Darian Gumbawale direct snap, and I don't know what the hell that was supposed to be. And he's there in Wildcat. Like, what are we doing with Dare? 2 times, I believe, he had a Wildcat formation for Darian Gumbawale, which was ridiculous. I guess I'll give him some credit for the Cade Stover tush push. It's not my favorite play in the world, but whatever. You had a bad play that turned into a touchdown between CJ Stroud and Woody Marks. That was unintentional, but hey, you got the touchdown out of it. You still can't score in the red zone still. You had some opportunities there. You came away with a field goal. Nick Caley has to do better. And
Yeah.
I feel good about this offensive line. I'm feeling pretty good about CJ, but the lack of involvement for Nico Collins. Yeah, he had 85 yards, but only had 3 catches. I mean, I want more. That's all I want. I want more usage from him. I want more usage of Jalen Noel. And I'm just afraid we're not going to get that this year.
No.
Nick Caley, he could have been better. It wasn't his worst performance, but he could definitely be better.
I look at 40 points and I'm like, yeah, he probably could have been better.
Should have
But
had 50.
should have had 50. The Houston Texans, they handle business. 9-5 is the record, 5-2 at home. When you talk about the current vibes, the morale of the team, I mean, it's at an all-time high right now. After starting 0-3, you thought your season was going to be over by Halloween. Now we're approaching Christmas, and you're the 7th seed in the AFC. As I look at the playoff picture right now, every team that you needed to lose win today. So you're going to be stuck at the 7th seed at 9-5 with the best defense in the NFL. So, you got to continue to climb. But Harley, I think the Houston Texans, man, they've done a fantastic job this last 2 months of the season.
D'Amico Ryans deserves Coach of the Year honors.
Mike
He
Vrabel's
deserves to
going to
be.
get it. Sean
Oh,
Payton's going to
I
get it.
mean, he deserves to be in this conversation now. He deserves it by far. I know Mike Vrabel and Sean Payton, they love Sean Payton. So the NFL loves to get on their knees for Sean Payton, so they love Sean Payton so much. Mike Vrabel, what he's done for the Patriots, I mean, I think he deserves to be in that conversation as well, too. But for how this season was for the Houston Texans to start 0-3, there is no other damn team, Sean Payton, Mike Vrabel included, that had to go to their backup quarterback for 3 games. 3 games you needed to win. And you got all 3 of those wins. All 3 of them. You needed every single one of them. And now you got your quarterback back, and you are still winning games. And you've beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, what else do I need to prove if I'm D'Amico Ryans? Because if the Houston Texans win out and they tie for their season franchise record in wins at 12, then D'Amico Ryans deserves some damn head coach of the year honors. That's what he deserves.
No, he definitely does, and I can't wait to see how the season plays out. I mean, if we end up 12-5,
you know what? I give it to the Broncos. You know why? Because they're basically playing with a backup quarterback in Bo Nix. So
don't start that trash talk.
I gotta give it to.
Ladies and
wants that
gentlemen,
trash talk.
ladies and gentlemen, the Houston Texans, they continue their winning streak. They move it from 5 to 6. They defeat the Arizona Cardinals 40-20 is the final score. That was Harley from the lead. I am Ruben. 713 Houston Sportcast. Want to shout out Bleach Report allowing us to come on here talk Houston Texans football. Always a big shout out to the man upstairs. We're streaking. Can't wait to see what happens next. Houston Texans 9-5. You guys have a very blessed day.